Before I get started, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my channel. And, my channel will not be where it's at today without all of my supporters. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture. I've been wanting to touch bases on this topic for a while now, which is the focus of this lecture is, yes, people are prospering in this economy, people. People really are prospering in this economy. And to validate that, a couple of days ago, I had dinner with a family member of mine. It was everybody at that dinner table were in the early to mid 20s. And I was visiting my niece. She had some friends over. So we all sitting down eating dinner together. And I'm a people person. And these other four people at the table, like I said, were in the early to mid 20s. And I'm going to prove to you, Rural, on how people are prospering in this economy in all ages. I spend time speaking to people in their 20s to 30s to 40s, even people in their retirement. I'm a people person. But when I had dinner with my niece and her four friends a couple of days ago, we all sitting at that table. We all had a great conversation. I'm listening to these young, wise people. It was a male and three females. We all having this conversation. And I'm listening to these people. We were talking about things like the career, the job. They were talking about how they are investing in their future with their retirement. I'm listening to these young people. And I'm listening, and one of them started talking about, we found out we both had the same insurance company for our car insurance, USAA. So we went into a discussion on how we're saving so much money on our car insurance. And, the conversation with everybody at the table was about growth type conversation, about career, making careers, talking about their career and talking about how they're already building into their retirement type conversation. They also were talking at that dinner table in terms of, even though they have a full-time W-2 job, that they also were talking about how they still do things to empower themselves and to develop themselves and to cultivate themselves outside of that job to generate another stream of income. This is real talk, people. And those other four people at that dinner table that I was at were all in their early 20s, but they had the mindset of a 40-year-old. And so that validates that they were raised and educated by their parents, but it's never too late. I'm listening to these young people, how they were talking about how they well traveled, how they have that balance in their life when they are traveling to go different places, rather it's abroad or within the country. So as I'm listening to these young people, one of the person talked about how they relocated from one county to another county because based off the research he did, the cost of living in the area where he's going to be moving into, which is the same area that I'm going to be moving into because I'm leaving the state of Florida. And so we went into a discussion on how the cost of living in the area we're both relocating to is so economical. You're going to get bigger bang for your bucks. This is real talk, people. And I'm listening to these people, and every word that came out of their mouth was discussions about how they're prospering, how they're paying into their retirement, how they understand the power of developing themselves outside of the job to use their talents to make other streams of income. And I'm just sitting here listening. And we had a phenomenal growth type discussion at that dinner table for well over 2 hours. This is real talk, people. So, and I've had many discussions. People in my circle in the real world, whether they're retired or not. I have a group of people where we meet up at the local Dunkin' Donut, and we talk about various topics. But those topics that we be talking about is things on how we can continuously to develop ourselves, to enhance ourselves, to improve ourselves in all areas, rather we're still in the workforce or not, people. Because I'm telling you, all of the people in my real world, those are the type of discussions we're having. We're having those type of discussions on how we can build our financial portfolio. We having those type of discussions on the next travel abroad trip we are in preparation or getting ready to do. Those are the type of the people I center myself around. And because if a person is always in the circle of people where they're always talking about how broke they are, how they tired of living from paycheck to paycheck, if they ain't got no money, they tired of being tired. If you center yourself around those type of people, and that's the only kind of discussion they're having is a broke mindset discussion, or how I'm tired of living from paycheck to paycheck discussion, or how high cost of living is, housing is. If you encircle yourself around those type of people who that's the only discussion they got to bring to the table, or if that's the type of stuff you're listening to on any social media platforms, where you got all these people on this platform coming on these platforms talking about how hard life is, how high cost of living is, they tired of living from paycheck to paycheck, being broke all the time. Well, if that's the type of content you're always listening to, and if those are the type of people you're always around in the real world, in your circle, then you will literally have the mindset that everybody in this world is broke. Everybody in this world living from paycheck to paycheck. Everybody in this world struggling. No, everybody who is in your circle living like that, and everybody who you listen to on these social media platforms living like that. But if you switch your circle, there you go. And if you switch the type of content you listen to, you can put in your search engine right now on whatever social media platform that you listen to, and put in the search engine people who are prospering, and a whole lot of content creators will come up, and they'll be on these platforms talking about how they're prospering, how they're doing things to develop themselves, to cultivate themselves, to improve themselves in all areas, how they're talking about the steps that they are taking to enhance and to develop themselves even outside of their W-2 job. Because when I was listening to these group of people in their 20s at the dinner table, you know, these young men and women were talking about, they literally said, yeah, I need my full-time W-2 job because that's where I'm going to get my benefits. That's where I'm going to get my life insurance, my dental insurance, my 401, profit sharing, paid time off, value in that. And then they were talking about how they still use their talents outside of their day job to create another stream of income. I'm listening to the young people talking like this. I talked to a younger person in his 20s, 29 years old, young gentleman. I had a conversation with him in the month of November. And this young man literally told me that he has 2 full-time jobs. The first full-time job, that pays his bills, and his income from his second job, this man 29 years old, and he told me, oh, that second job, the income from my second job, I invest all that money. Even though I'm getting a retirement on my day job, my second income, I'm investing that money to increase my financial portfolio. So when I do get ready to retire, I'm looking good. To hear a young person strategizing like that, to hear a young person say that he has a purpose for his second job. The money that he make off his second job, he has a purpose for that money. He's been strategic with that money. He's investing that money to increase his financial portfolio. These are the type of people I center myself around. These are the type of people I gravitate to when I'm holding discussions, when I'm engaging them in dialogue. Because I'm telling you, positivity will draw positivity. If you're speaking that negative language all the time and you're listening to that negative language all the time, how hard life feels, how high bills are, tired of living from paycheck to paycheck, broke all the time, if that's all you center yourself around with, people speaking that type of language, and if that's all you listen to on these platforms, then you will literally have the mindset that everybody in the world living like this. But let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something, rural. In reality, everybody ain't living no paycheck to paycheck. Everybody ain't broke all the time. There are people who are prospering, been prospering, still prospering. They got enough money sitting in their emergency savings account that can pay their bills 2 years in the future, people. They're increasing their financial portfolio because like I've always been told, birds of a feather flock together. So if you're flocking around broke mindset people who are that victim stance, and how hard it is, and I can't get ahead, and I'm tired of being broke, and you hear that day after day, week after week, month after month, then you know what? You will become that person. Real talk. But if you change your circle and get a new circle, there you go. And people in that circle are talking about the steps that they need to do to develop themselves, to enhance themselves, to improve themselves, to advance on their job, to increase their financial portfolio, to increase their emergency savings account. And they're having these type of discussions, and they're talking about the steps that they need to take to get there. They ain't just talking. No, they dropping nuggets. They talking about the footwork behind their success. There we go. And like I said, a couple of days ago, I'm sitting at a table with 4 other individuals in their 20s and had a mind of a 40-year-old. These young men and women that I was talking to has accomplished more in their life than someone in the 40s, in the 50s, because I'm going to tell you, it's all about their mindset, people, and it's all about the circle that they keep. Real talk. So yeah, people are prospering in this day and time. I know a whole bunch of them. I'm one of them because I'm doing the footwork. And you better believe I do not have anybody in my circle, because I can't stand to listen to that type of language too long if you're in my circle. Ain't nobody in my circle in the real world. I ain't talking about no doggone social media. I'm talking about people who personally know me, know where I live, got my cell phone number, know where I live, and been knowing me for years in my circle, got a similar mindset to Marie Holiday, and that's a growth mindset. That's a prosperity mindset, for real, for real. So share this information, because in reality, everybody ain't broke. Everybody ain't struggling. Everybody ain't living on paycheck to paycheck. It's those people in that certain circle living like that. And if that's all you listen to on social media, then that's all you're going to hear. I challenge you right now, put in your search engine people who are prospering right now, and a whole lot of different content creators' names will come up, and those are the type of channels I listen to. Those are the type of channels I'm going to support in engagement, send comments, questions, subscribe to their channel, because if their channel is positive, educational, motivational, uplifting, useful information to the masses, those are the type of content creators I'm going to follow on social media, versus these content creators who all they're talking about is how hard life feels. They broke all the time, living from paycheck to paycheck, drama-fied, toxic information that serves no purpose, people. And this is real talk. Share this information. Yes, people are prospering. Yes, people are prospering on a continuous basis. Because for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, when I meet people and listen to them talk for a good 5 minutes, that first 5 minutes of listening to them, they are already verbalizing that growth prosperity movement, that having that growth prosperity mindset by evidence of the words that come out of their mouth, versus I'm struggling, I ain't got no money to pay my bills, can I borrow $20? I ain't got time for that, people. This is real talk. So share this information. Somebody might need to hear this information in regards to, yes, people are prospering in this day and time, and they have not skipped a beat. And I'm here to tell you. That's all I have. Simplify, simple fidelity, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.